This is Mark from Team How To, and we're teaching the masses how to.
Hey guys and gals, it's Mark from Team How To. Today I want to talk to you about the blur feature built into YouTube's editing software. Very powerful tool. If you can't get your blurs and those types of things needed in before you upload your video, then this is a great way to do it after the fact. I still think it's probably better if you can get it done in advance, but this tool is very powerful and it's pretty awesome. So let's just go to it real quick. I'm just going to go to our YouTube studio here, and we'll go over here when this loads and hit the content. So we'll hit our content and we'll pick a video that we want to add a blur, and this will add a blur to a face. This will add a blur to any given object. It'll follow them around. It's really awesome. So I'm going to hit the details on this particular one, and we'll shift over here to the editor, click that button, and now the editor's open. From here, what we want to do is we have a few options, but we're talking about the blur. This is the blur here. So what we're going to do is kind of go through how to blur a face first. So what I want to do is hit this blur parts of your video. And so, or I could hit the plus button here. It works the same. When I do this, it's going to say, do you want to blur the face or do you want to blur a custom blur? And custom blur is just any object you pick throughout. Let's start with the face. So we'll do the face, and you can see this picks out the only face that was on the video. Had there been 2 or 3 people in there, you could single one of them out and just blur them out. This will take a few seconds to load up, 15, 20, depends how long the video is, how many faces are in it. So I only had the one in here. I did it in advance, so it would be a little quicker for us. So when I hit this, it did select all because I only have one. If I had 5, I could select 2 of them, 1, whatever I want. And then we'll hit apply. There, now you can see the blur has been added in the entire timeline. So if we wanted to have this blur on the face for the entire timeline, that's exactly what would happen. But just for the sake of showing how this is done, let's do it a little less. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can come down here left click like I'm doing here after you get the white double arrow, shift it back to the timeline where you want it, and you can do it on the other end, and you can see what happens here. These numbers are changing. This is 8 seconds in, this is 19 seconds in. If I wanted to do that manually, for some reason say I know what it is, I could say let's do it at 10 seconds. So I could say we're going to start at 10 seconds. You can see it changed to 10 seconds. Exactly. And something noteworthy is you'll see as this works, I'm going to move this on down some because I know over here the movement of the head is more, so I want to show that it doesn't just blur where the head is, it blurs the entire face no matter where the face goes. So let's see what that looks like real quick. So I'll start that and we'll see where they put the blur. See, it knows where the blur face is, and it's anytime she moves around a little bit, it follows her out. There you go. You can see the reason it unblurred is because I didn't go to the end. So that's a quick look at the face blur. A couple other things we want to remember. The blur will only be where the blue section is, and these timestamps accordingly. You could do multiple people, and then you could track them separately, and it will always follow their face around. So, and you can see each person's face would be on their own line down here, so she would be here. There we go. So let's go ahead and do a couple more blurs, or at least one. We'll do a custom blur this time, and this one is doing the blue. So what I want to do in this case, I think I'm going to blur, drag this into here, and I'm going to blur just the top of that pineapple, not the whole thing, just the green part. We'll see how that goes. There's a few times in this program it gets a little glitchy. You'll try to delete something, you'll try to move something, and it'll just kind of not work for you. You can come up here and hit the undo button. Sometimes it gets you back where you want, and other times you're just stuck and you have to start over. But all in all, it's really good for the most part. So I'm just going to go to here, and we'll watch and see how this works. So there we go. I brought this in. It's going to be just that. So let's see what happens here. So you can see it's not blurred. We'll hit play. And now she's about to cut it. She picks it up. Hey, look, I can't see the top. Excellent. Now she's going to chop it off. And notice the bottom half of the fruit will leave, but the green will stay. Excellent. So now I've shown you how a couple of those different types work. Let me show you a couple other little quick things noteworthy. Notice whichever one you're on, the blue one is the one you're dealing with. So if I wanted to delete this one, say I didn't like it there, I just come up here at the delete and it goes away. But you want to make sure you're on the right one. So if I wanted to delete the blue, the face one, I would do there, and I would hit the delete button there. Or if I wanted to make any adjustments, I would need it to be on the blue one. That's about all there is to that. One noteworthy thing is the face is not nearly as blurred here as it is when it gets out on YouTube proper. It's just kind of giving you a feel for it right now so you know what's being blurred. Now that all of our editing is done, all we have left to do is save this. It will take a couple of hours sometimes, depending on how long it is, and everything else it will depend how long it takes. But we're just going to hit the save button, and then this will give you some things to know, like how long it's going to take, and while you wait you can leave the site, all this stuff, basically boilerplate stuff. So we're just going to hit save. So what I'm going to do is, once I'm done with this, I will go out and see how long it takes for it to be uploaded, and then after that I will bring in the final product, show you what that looks like, and get a better feel for how it'll really be. Okay, so after a couple of hours of waiting, nothing has happened. I went on YouTube, looked at the video, no change. So I waited a few more hours, still nothing, and then in the morning I decided, okay, I give up. Let's start over. So I went back in, made all my changes, and you will see what it looks like when it actually is processing. I thought it was processing because I hit save and it graded out and it gave us that pop-up that said, you might have to wait a few hours. But let me show you now what it looks like when it truly is processing. That way you know you're actually going to get a product at the end. And then we'll go after that and I'll show you what the finished product is, which looks really nice, way better than its example when you're actually doing it. So this is what it looks like when it actually is doing what you expect after you've hit the save button. It sort of grays out the entire area, sort of darkens it, and then it has the video is being processed, please check back later message at the bottom. And you can also see where it blacks out the entire video and it only shows the dots of where the blur outs will be. That was not what we got before, it was just that sort of grayed out save button. Now let's just head back and see what it looks like when we're all finished. Okay, now I'm going to go view this on YouTube, see what the final product looks like. Go ahead and load this up. I'm going to shift this forward to where the action is, and we'll see. So, should blur out the top of the pineapple. Yep, there it is, and the face is blurred. Watch when she cuts it off. Very nice, it does not follow the pineapple with it. So I hope you got some value out of that. It was good that we could work through some of the glitches and get a better feel for when it is working and when it's not and what to expect. One thing that's noteworthy is when it did work, it actually took like less than a minute. Admittedly, this is a very short video. I did it only for the purposes of showing the feature. That's why I didn't want to do it on an hour-and-a-half video. So I don't know how long that'll take, but it was fairly quick on this one. It couldn't have been a minute when it actually worked. So, all right, best of luck. We will catch you next time. Thanks.
Hey, did you remember to subscribe?